Hi YouTube, today's topic is Mourinho'S defense system ruined? A few weeks ago, we have concluded that Chelsea is not an unbeatable team, and Chelsea lost its game against Tottenham Hotspur in the following week as we published our analysis. Since then, Chelsea seems to be back on the right track, winning 4 out of 5 games and continue dominating. While scoring 11 goals, Chelsea was only scored twice in the last 5 games. Chelsea is becoming a nightmare for the rest of the team as it did in the start of this season. Will Chelsea improve to be the perfect team during this period and continue dominating the league? In fact, based on our research, it appears that their defense is still unstable in this season. According to our model with 98.94% p-value, if Chelsea did not make any significant adjustment in the period, Chelsea would not be scored in the last 3 games. In reality, Chelsea was scored in the game against Manchester City and Aston Villa, especially in the game against Manchester City. The numbers shown in our research indicates that the team would not be scored in this game, especially with the fact that our statistical model indicates that the performance of Manchester City would not be any problem for the team. Someone may point out that being scored might be a lucky case in these games. However, according to our new statistical model of Chelsea, the p-value drops from 98.94% to 97.15%, and adjusted R-squared drops from 57.91% to 37.44%, which are all significant changes. Especially we use the same model to generate these data. The result convinced us that there is a significant changes in the team defense. Let us use the simple k-means and expected maximization to see how the changes impact on the team. The data shows no preference in the number of clusters we needed, so I decided to use 5 clusters in simple k-means and 6 clusters in expected maximization. These two methods show similar cluster assignments. Simple k-mean clustering. Game Swansea versus Chelsea assigns to cluster 4. Game Chelsea versus Manchester City and Game Chelsea versus Everton assigned to cluster 2. Game Aston Villa versus Chelsea assigned to cluster 3. Expected maximization. Game Swansea versus Chelsea assigns to cluster 1. Game Chelsea versus Manchester City and Game Chelsea versus Everton assigns to cluster 2. Game Aston Villa versus Chelsea assigns to cluster 3. You can see both of these methods agree on the same game assignments. Let us take a look at the result of all the clusters. Here is part of the results based on simple K clustering. First of all, let us take a look at the results of cluster 2 based on both methods. For simple k-mean clustering, the goal against of cluster 2 is 1.8. For expected maximization, the goal against of cluster 2 is 2.3333. These two numbers indicate that the team will not be able to stop being scored in these 2 games and will be likely to be scored twice in each of them. Then we take a look at game Swansea versus Chelsea, which is assigned to cluster 4 based on simple k-means clustering and cluster 1 based on expected maximization. The goal against cluster 4 based on simple k-means clustering is 0.6. The goal against of cluster 1 based on expected maximization is 0.25, but with standard deviation 0.433. Both of these numbers show that the team is possible to be scored once in this game. Lastly, we take a look at games Aston Villa versus Chelsea, which is assigned to cluster 3 based on both methods. Both of the two numbers 0.2727 for simple k-means clustering and 0 for expected maximization indicates that the team would not be scored in this game. Let us look at what changes Mourinho made to his team. Based on the data, we found that Mourinho required the team to reduce number of set pieces, drop from 0.667 to 0.25, decrease number of clearance, drop from 27.95 to 22, reduce the winning offense, throwing drops from 18.19 to 14.75, allow the opponent team to make easy passes, opponent passing accuracy increased from 80% to 84%, and try to seek chance outside the box. Opponent number of blocks drops from 15.28 to 11.75. In general, the team played more defensive passively than before. This movement is reasonable since Chelsea lost to Spurs by a fair big margin. On the other hand, in the long run, this change would not improve the team performance as we proved above. Even though the results of the past 4 games are fairly good, there is a great danger hidden in the satisfied scores. Chelsea is leading 7 points ahead the second place, but they are far from finishing the work this season. If they continue the adjustment as we stated above, they're gonna have defensive problem in the future.